Mega Emboar is a really cool new design Mega Evolution in Pokemon Champions, but it has one fatal flaw, and that is its ability is pretty pointless. There's not really much of a reason for Mega Emboar to run Mold Breaker, but I might have found a way to be able to utilize Mega Emboar and have Mold Breaker actually come into play in relevant situations. We're going to be trying out Mega Emboar and seeing how well it can perform. This is my Mega Emboar Sunroom team that was inspired by Gen 9's competitive features that was originally a pair with Goldengo featuring Ogerpon Heartflame, but this time we're going to be utilizing Mega Emboar to support the Goldengo with its Mold Breaker ability. Let's break it down. So first Pokemon up we have is the Mega Emboar, which is a pretty interesting Mega Evolution to say the least. Its abilities pre-Mega Evolution are okay, Blaze and Reckless aren't the worst abilities, but when it Mega Evolves it gets access to Mold Breaker, and there aren't really that many moves that really rely in Emboar's toolkit to be able to break through abilities. Like, you can maybe break some random sturdies and maybe some other situational ones, but really it's like, okay, maybe you can go for ground type moves against levitate Pokemon, but why not just use regular Excadrill at that point? So yeah, it's really challenging to find a role for Mega Emboar to actually utilize its ability, because most of the time it's not going to be a great ability to use. However, I think we have found a way to be able to utilize it. We have this coverage option of Flare Blitz in close combat. Fire and Fighting is actually pretty good offensive coverage. Helping Hand, which is going to be important because the Mold Breaker Helping Hand is a toolkit that we do have access to, and Protect to keep itself around. The EV spread is pretty simple. We're going with max HP and max attack for the best possible damage output, and the rest is going to go into the defenses. And we're going with min speed because we do have access to Trick Room on this team, so Mega Emboar will be able to just outspeed stuff under Trick Room. And then we also have After You support, so we can actually have the Emboar move first in a lot of cases, even outside of Trick Room. So we'll see how this Mega Evolution actually plays out. Next Pokemon we have is going to be a standard Citrus Berry Farigiraf. Such a bulky Pokemon that's able to have access to Trick Room, which is able to reverse the speed order. Its typing is fantastic. Normal and Psychic is really good, especially being an immunity to the last respects, which is pretty nice. Having access to Trick Room for Emboar and having that Armor Tail to prevent the priority moves on your side of the field is fantastic synergy wise. We have coverage options of Psychic for the coverage, Thunderbolt, which is able to help out against Pelipper and water types, Trick Room, of course, to be able to reverse the speed order, and Protect, because of course if you do want to deny Trick Room, you might see double ups into Farigiraf, and having Protect is really useful to keep Farigiraf around on the field. EV spread on this Farigiraf is a min speed Farigiraf with relaxed nature, so it can take advantage again of the Trick Room main idea here. We have a lot of defense alongside a lot of HP. The HP stat is even, so you can be able to consume the Citrus Berry after a Super Fang from like Maushold and more. We also have access to a lot of defense to be able to live stuff like the Life Orb Wave Crash from Adaptability Basket Legion, even if Sun is not up, and then a good amount of special defense to be able to survive a Weather Ball from a offensive Charizard Y. So just able to set up Trick Room, dish out some chip damage. Really great support Pokemon, not much to say about it. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Life Orb Mamoswine, and Life Orb Mamoswine is really able to help out against Garchomp, which a lot of the core composition of this team struggled with, because I started off with Goldengo plus Emboar, had the Sun mode, and then realized I don't have the best ways of actually hitting a Garchomp. So we have this Life Orb Mamoswine, which is really nice, supported by the Farigiraf, because it's able to prevent the priority moves from affecting the Mamoswine and threatening the Ice Shard, which is pretty good. And Oblivious, of course, makes Mamoswine immune to Intimidate, so really, really effective here with the Ice Shard priority to be able to one-shot the Garchomp in and out of Trick Room. High horsepower for the really strong ground coverage, able to hit Incineroar, which is pretty nice. Icicle Crash is a really strong Ice-type move, Protect to keep itself around. You want Oblivious over Thickfat because of the ability to just shut down Intimidate and preventing it from affecting the Mamoswine, while dishing out as much damage as possible. We are going to go with a Jolly Nature because we do actually want to speed in case of some certain scenarios in that random speed tier, so just being able to dish out as much damage as possible. And you already have a lot of attack boosted by that Life Orb. You don't really need Animate, it's a little bit extra, and just again max attack, max speed, just trying to dish out as much damage as possible. Now we have Goldengo, which is the star of the show alongside the Emboar, with the Choice Scarf that the Goldengo is holding to be able to outspeed a lot of common threats, and the Good as Gold ability, which is a fantastic ability because it is able to prevent any status moves from affecting Goldengo. This usually includes Helping Hand actually from your own allies, but with the Mold Breaker from the Emboar, you can actually go for Mold Breaker Helping Hand. So we are going to be able to have this Choice Scarf Golden Go be able to take advantage of the Helping Hand attack boost and allow its damage output to be maximized so it can actually get knockouts even with that Choice Scarf just outspeeding and threatening with a boosted attack. So we have Make It Rain as a really strong spread move, Shadow Ball, which of course really great coverage, Power Gem, which is able to hit Charizards and fire types, and then Steel Beam as a really strong nuke with the same type of attack bonus, being able to dish out so much damage at the cost of 50% of your health, getting a surprise knockout in, for instance, against a Garchomp and several other Pokemon with that Helping Hand boost can be a very powerful tool. The EV spread here is pretty simple. We're going to go with max special attack and max speed. We are running a Timid Nature because this does allow me to outspeed like Mega Aerodactyl, for instance. It's also really important into like Scarf Basculegion and quite a few other Pokemon that's just in that speed tier where Modest Golden Go just barely misses the mark. Being able to outspeed, of course, like the Delphoxes, the Lopunnies, all those Pokemon with that Timid Nature, I think is just really important. So we are going to go with just Timid Nature and use the Helping Hand to boost up the Golden Go's attack aim power. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Charcoal Torkoal. Pretty standard set with the Drought ability to summon the sun, and I thought it would be really cool if like Emboar can not only support the Golden Go, but also be pretty offensive itself. Those Flare Blitzes under the sun would do a ton of damage, and that's kind of the idea of why I want to have like a Sunroom team featuring with the Mega Emboar, so it can actually dish out damage and not just be a Pokemon that can just spam Helping Hand for Golden Go. We have access to this Torkoal, which is pretty standard, Eruption for the really strong fire spread move, Weather Ball for the single target fire type move, which is able to take advantage of the sun. The Stone Edge, which is actually kind of important because I do want to be able to hit the Charizard Ys with Stone Edge, that high crit chance ratio, the chance to actually KO a frail Charizard Y. All of those are actually pretty beneficial, so we are running Stone Edge on this Torkoal to be able to hit the Charizard mainly, because otherwise we don't have the best answers to Charizard in general with this team, and Protect to keep itself around. EV spread is pretty simple, just max special attack, max HP, dish out as much damage as possible, but the idea of this Torkoal to be a sweeper and set up the sun for the Emboar as well as his other partner. And that other partner is going to be the Focus Sash Vileplume with the Chlorophyll ability, which is able to double its speed while the sunlight is up and has access to some pretty strong attacks. Solar Beam, which is going to be your grass type move of choice, the power of Solar Beam, which is pretty powerful. Sludge Bomb, which is going to be a nice poison type attack. Sleep Powder, of course, for that disruption. And then After You, which allows the user to move right out of the Vileplume, so it can be really nice, allowing slow Pokemon like the Emboar to take advantage of the Vileplume speed under the sun and fire off of really powerful attacks. So this is going to be the idea. Max speed on this Vileplume does allow you to outspeed Aerodactyl, the Mega Form, so I do think you have to go Timid, unfortunately, but you still have a good amount of special attack with the Focus Sash, and then the rest is just going to go into bulk. It's supposed to be a Pokemon that can do some pretty decent chip damage, spread some sleeps, and then utilize the After You for the support alongside the Mega Emboar. So how to use the team? Well, you have a few different ways with this team, but a lot of the idea is just to dish out a ton of damage. You have a lot of offensive tools, really great damage output with the Emboar as well as the Mamoswine, and then of course you have the Torkoal Vileplume that can be super disruptive. You have ways to set up Trick Room and then sweep with really slow Pokemon. You have some pretty fast tools, especially with priority with Mamoswine, so quite a few different ways, but a lot of damage output that you can dish out with this team. The idea concept of this team was mainly to feature the Emboar paired with Golden Go. Because of the ability of the Mold Breaker with Emboar, you can actually utilize Helping Hand onto Golden Go, which is normally immune to Helping Hand with its Good as Gold ability, but with the Mold Breaker you can actually go for Helping Hand with the Mega Emboar onto your Golden Go, and with the Choice Scarf outspeed and threaten some pretty surprising knockouts. So that is the idea here. You're able to boost up the power and get the KOs with Make It Rain, Shadow Ball, and Steel Beam into unsuspecting foes. You can use this in a really great lead case, or you can set up for an endgame scenario where Choice Scarf Golden Go is able to outspeed a lot of the opponent's team and dish out a ton of damage to get the final knockouts. So that is a really strong duo, and you want to be able to utilize it well, either for, again, lead-wise, just dish out a ton of damage, or as a back cleanup. You have other ways to be able to dish out a ton of damage too. You will have access to the Torkoal plus the Vileplume, access to the Drought, set up the Sun, Chlorophyll with the Vileplume, spread some Sleep Powders, get some chip damage. Really great for setting up maybe Mamoswine or Golden Go to pick up KOs later in the game. And of course, that After You with Vileplume, super disruptive if Torkoal does go down, because you can go for After You next to your partner, whether it's going to be the Emboar or the Mamoswine, to get some really strong knockouts and utilize the Vileplume speed under the Chlorophyll. You have access to also other combinations, of course, with the team. the Farigiraf can just lead and try to set up Trick Room. Farigiraf plus Mamoswine is a pretty good one because it's able to dish out a lot of damage and threaten a lot of super effectiveness into a majority of the format with that Ice Shard and the high horsepower for really great coverage. So you can try to set up Trick Room and then try to sweep with like Emboar and Torkoal is always a thing. You could go for that Trick Room mode early, try to set up for a late game Golden Go cleanup. You could lead Golden Go immediately, have access to just dish out a good amount of damage, have Golden Go faint, and then bring out your Trick Room Sweeper next to the Farigiraf and really dish out a ton of damage. A lot of ways you are able to utilize this team and a lot of different ways you can play it. If you would like to check out the details of the team, they will be in the description down below and of course on your screen right now. But let us try out Mega Emboar, one of Pokemon Champion's strangest and probably least used Mega Evolutions, and see if it can actually do something. Alright, we have Delphox, Staraptor, Whimsicott, Garchomp, Aronomosh, and King Gambit. Gonna be a little bit of a spooky one, but I think it should be alright. Are they bringing Delphox or are they bringing Staraptor? They're both really good here. This is gonna be a tricky one. I feel like I can't really bring Farigiraf Trick Room, even though it's probably ideal. This is gonna be a tough one. The fact that they have Garchomp alongside like the Delphox and Staraptor combination, and I have to read which one they bring here. Oh boy. That's going to be a tricky one. I think my best combo, if I'm not mistaken here, probably... I have to commit on the lead. I don't think they're leading Gambit against my team, unless they want to lead Staraptor plus King Gambit. I could see Whimsicott Staraptor, which I think makes the most sense to me. I like Golden Go plus Emboar a lot here. I think Golden Go Emboar is pretty solid against my opponent's team offensively. I think in the back, this is what makes it tricky because I think I need Mamoswine to beat the Garchomp. I need the Ice Shard, but that leaves me with suboptimal options as my last. I think maybe no Sun here is probably the play here because I don't really need the Sun. I think I'll bring Vileplume so I have a good answer to Aronomosh. But yeah, this is going to be a super tricky one. I'm going to need Emboar healthy to beat the... This is going to be tricky because I don't know if what I exactly need, because if they go with like a Whimsicott Staraptor lead, I'm a bit concerned. Okay, they lead Whimsicott Delphox, so they didn't bring Staraptor. Interesting. Okay. As I do lead Emboar plus Golden Go. This is probably... I mean, Heat Wave doesn't knock out my Golden Go. I'm pretty sure they're just going to click either Tailwind, Heat Wave. If they go for Moonblast, that's even more ideal for me, but I think they're just going to go for Tailwind, Heat Wave. So I'm going to go for my Helping Hand Shadow Ball. I need the extra damage with the Helping Hand to KO the Delphox, because Delphox has really good special defense. Yeah, Delphox is a little bit annoying for this team with HO. Let's see if we can KO the Delphox, because if we get rid of the Mega Evolution, it's actually pretty good. Although they Psychic the Emboar, it's obviously less ideal. Heat Wave, we should live with a Golden Go, so let's see. Helping Hand Shadow Ball will be pretty important for knocking out this Delphox, and then we'll have to navigate from there because it is still a really tricky spot, but like it's a manageable spot, which is the important part. Mode Breaker activates. We will go for the Helping Hand to get to the Helping Hand through the good as gold. They do go for Tailwind. I really wish they did. They went for Moonblast and Heat Wave and had been greedy instead. Oh, it would have been massive. Heat Wave, dodge on Golden Go? Big dodge on Golden Go. I think we would have lived. Oh, double dodge. Double dodge. Here comes Helping Hand Shadow Ball. Goodbye, Delphox. Okay, really, like, I mean, that's the perfect start. Like, legitimately, that's the perfect start. Okay. Oh, we definitely take that. But Garchomp's coming in, right? Yep, Garchomp coming in. Do I need Golden Go anymore? I think against the remaining Pokemon, I don't need it as much. I'm just trying to get a free switch to Mamoswine, so let's go for a Shadow Ball into the Whimsicott and just protect the Emboar. This is probably a double up into the Gold Slav, which is fine, but we'll see. Did they go for Earthquake to break their own sash? That'd be nice. Oh, they have Light Screen, huh? If they went for a Light Screen instead with Heat Wave, that would have been way more devastating, so I'm glad that's the case. Okay, they go for Earthquake. This should knock out Gold unless this is not Life Orb, but I think it's probably Life Orb on this team. Oh, it's not Life Orb. Okay. That's a bit tricky, actually. As I do get a Shadow Ball off into the Whimsicott. Also, that Whimsicott's extremely bulky. Yeah, it's extremely bulky. Do I think it's Rotom or King Gambit in the back? That's my big question. I feel like it's probably likely is the Rotom, but hard to say. Because if it's King Gambit, I guess I could beat it with Mamoswine back with Vileplume if I keep it healthy. So I think my best play is just to double up the Whimsicott slot. Or maybe it's just a Shadow Ball the Garchomp and go for a Flare Blitz. I think that's fine. Yeah, because I just need Mamoswine to get a free switch. So they go for Earthquake again. Does so much damage, but I'm okay with this position because now I get Mamoswine next to my Vileplume and I should be okay here. I don't think this Whimsicott has Protect likely because Light Screen means you usually drop Protect. Blast KOs the Emboar, but Emboar already did the job really with the helping hand on the Golden Gull to ensure the knock on the Delphox. It's actually funny because I think if the Heat Wave landed on my Golden Gull, it was a much easier spot to get in Mamoswine without having to sacrifice the Emboar, but what can you do here? We get Vileplume next to Mamoswine. We go for Ice Shard here very safely here. It does KO the Garchomp. And we go for a Sludge Bomb into the Whimsicott. Oh, I guess if this Whimsicott has Charm, you can Charm the Mamoswine because Charm, I think, goes to Oblivious, which would not be great here. But I do go for Ice Shard plus Sludge Bomb. It kind of covers like a lot of angles. I do think last mon's probably Rotom. Yeah, they did go for Charm. Okay. We do go for the Ice Shard. Oh, I crit the Garchomp. Okay, I'm getting very fortunate here. Yeah, that's a crit. I mean, I could have Icicle Crashed for sure. Or Protect Sludge Bomb might have been better. Protect Sludge Bomb might have been better. I think Protect Sludge Bomb was probably the better play here. I do get a Whimsicott here, so they just didn't have Encore on the Whimsicott. Okay, what's the last? It really just depends, because if it's Rotom, I don't think it's really that big of a deal, but I guess like breaking a Sash on Vileplume is really important for them. It is King Gambit back. Okay, so the game's not over yet, because I will have to hit moves here. I'm going to go for High Horsepower, and I'm going to go for Sleep Powder. That is all I can really do against the King Gambit. I need to land a Sleep Powder and High Horsepower. If I land both of these, I'm in good shape. Here comes High Horsepower. Really good damage to the King Gambit. Okay. I do land the Sleep Powder. Okay. It's not over yet because I still have to hit one more, but looking pretty good. I think if Garchomp hanged on, I think I would have just came down to like if the Gambit went to a 2-turn sleep instead of a 1-turn. But yeah, definitely did get fortunate in this game. All right, we're going to see a very fascinating team. We have Ampharos, Mawile, Runerigus, the Kangaskhan with Armarouge, and the Araquanid. So this is a hard Trick Room team, it looks like. Dual Mega potential with Mawile, and I mean they had 3 Megas, but I'm assuming this is probably like a Silk Scarf Last Resort Kangaskhan, because I think Mawile has to be Mega. I guess it could be Magnet Ampharos, but I think it could be Mega as well. I don't remember I've seen this team online. I know there's a Magnet Ampharos team online, but I don't know if this is it. Okay. Emboar is really good here offensively, as long as I get rid of Armarouge, which that one is going to be the tough one to actually break through. So I got a lot of options here. For Rigraff seems pretty good with Emboar, but it's bad into Armarouge, which is the concern here. Emboar with Golden Go seems pretty good here. I think I do go with Emboar with Golden Go, have for Rig back. Am I bringing this Mon? I don't think I need Vileplume. I don't think I need Torkoal either. So I guess it's Mamoswine offensively, which isn't too bad for me. Because like Mamoswine has really good offensive coverage against this entire team. Maybe I shouldn't have let Golden go now that I think about it. I think I should have led Mamoswine. Because if I led Mamoswine, I could probably just threaten a one-shot into the Armarouge very easily. I wanted to lead Emboar plus Golden Go because I thought I could do like a Farigiraf, easy switch, and that was like very likely. But now looking back at it, Mamoswine had way more offensive potential than I think the Golden Go had. But I mean, they also have to like fake out the right slot. So I could go for like Helping Hand, Shadow Ball. There's like quite a few options I do have access to. So let's see what they decide to go with. Armarouge or Rockwanid? Oh, very interesting. There is some fun facts I do have here. One, we have Mode Breaker on at the Emboar, which is actually kind of important because I could actually OHKO the Araquanid potentially. KOing a Rockrunet seems really, really good here. I'm gonna go for the Flare Blitz, Mold Breaker, Flare Blitz, and Shadow Ball. Or do I Power Gem? I guess Power Gem is pretty fair here too. I think I'm gonna go for Power Gem plus Flare Blitz here. Let's see. Armor's gonna retreat because they're worried about the Shadow Ball. Is this Kangaskhan? Mawile, okay. I'm glad I went for Power Gem. Okay, it's not Intimidate. The extra damage might have mattered. Okay, what's actually really funny is that the Mold Breaker is going to come into play in this match because of the fact that the extra damage into Rockrunet is really important. So this is really good for me. I am going to be able to get the Mold Breaker as we see no Protect, so Power Gem is going to come out into the Rockrunet. Very nice. And here comes the Flare Blitz into the Rockrunet. And goodbye Rockrunet. Even through that Water Bubble, which normally resists the Fire type moves because it has the damage it takes from Fire type attacks, the Mold Breaker ignores the Water Bubble. So we're actually getting some really cool Emboar interactions today. Let's see who they bring out next. Gonna be Ampharos. Ooh, wait, they didn't bring Armorage back, which is really nice because I can go for Flare Blitz into the Mawile. And I guess I just retreat into Mamoswine. Yeah, I don't see a problem with that. Mamoswine's in a really good offensive position. Also, they brought both, which is fascinating. So I'm kind of curious on what they're going to do here. What's nice is they don't have a free switch to Armorage because of the fact that Flash Fire is also ignored by Mold Breaker. So Emboar right now is actually on a pretty good offensive streak right here. Mamoswine is also in a pretty good offensive position. They Mega Evolved the Ampharos. So did they bring both Megas? Or is this Life Orb Sheer Force Mawile? No way. That's fine if it is, but like I'm actually in shock if they did that. They went for regular Sucker Punch into Golden Go. Okay, here comes a Flare Blitz. Goodbye Mawile. Mawile was honestly the one I was probably more threatened by, realistically. This works out pretty well for me. Goodbye Mawile. This has to be like a Thunderbolt into Mamoswine or a Dragon Pulse into Emboar if they go for the attack. Yeah, okay, they went for Thunderbolt into Emboar. That makes sense. Okay, I was about to say I was a bit shocked I KO'd, but crit makes sense. Okay, but that's fine. I don't need Emboar anymore. Emboar, you did a really good job here. Now I get to go out into... do I want to go gold or do I want to go for rig? I think I just go gold. I think gold just makes the most sense here. Unfortunately, I don't have trick because I think trick would probably make this easier, but I think either way, I can just go for a Shadow Ball. I go for Shadow Ball, I think... into Armorage. Do I double to Armorage? I mean, they switched out and didn't Protect. I feel like if they had Protect, they were more likely to Protect, right? But even then, I guess like I shouldn't have to fear anything because Mamoswine lives one Dragon Pulse. So I think I just double up the Armorage, and even if I get this play wrong, it's not like awful for me. So I'm gonna go for Shadow Ball High Horsepower. Okay, no switch. Good. Here comes Shadow Ball. That actually KO'd Armorage. I'm shocked. Wow. That's timid Golden Go, no Life Orb. That's crazy to me. Okay, High Horsepower KOs the Ampharos. Does that normally KO? I feel like that calc feels really off to me. But goodbye Ampharos, and that is game. Oh man, Emboar putting in work. But what? I'm just shocked. Hold on. I gotta figure out this Golden Go calc because I feel like that's not correct. On max HP Armorage? If it's max HP Armorage, oh, it's a roll. Okay, it's a 31% chance to KO. Okay. That makes more sense. I was about to say, I'm actually shocked it even has a chance to KO because I thought Armorage is a bit bulkier, but I guess 80 Spadef isn't the greatest. But even then, it's not invested, or I guess it's Timid Golden Go without Life Orb. I'm so used to like Life Orb or +2 calcs, so I'm a bit shocked. All right, we have the Froslass, Sneasler, Basky Legion, Dragonite, Garchomp, King Gambit. This is one of those older teams, if I'm not mistaken. Where have I seen this before? I'm pretty sure it was at Indie Regionals. I think it got like a good placement. Let's see. The double dragon's really annoying, but we do have Mamoswine, which is pretty good against their team. The problem is the rest of their team is actually still really terrifying that I have to watch out for. Okay. Debating about going with Emboar plus Golden Go, which might sound like a crazy lead, but I kind of like the idea of Helping Hand make it rain, blowing up the Froslass if I can. I think I'm gonna lead Emboar plus Golden Go. I think it is probably like one of the better angles. And then I think I bring Torkoal. I mean, I bring Mamoswine for sure. I bring Ice Shard coverage 100% in this matchup. The question is, do I even bring Weather? I feel like Weather is really weak here. I think for Rigraff it's just better. I think just having the priority block is just better. And also it's like an immunity to Last Respects, though I am very weak to Basket Legion endgame, so I gotta be cautious. This is not gonna be an easy one for sure. They just have double dragon, which makes it super rough because I have to bring the Mamoswine, but we'll see. Frostlass Basket Legion. This is good for me. Yeah, this is good for me. Okay. They don't usually run Sash on the Basket Legions on this team. I kind of really love the idea of just going for a Helping Hand with Golden Go, going for a Shadow Ball into Basket Legion, which will KO Basket Legion. They don't usually run Sash, I think, on like a Frostlass team because they usually run Veil on the Frostlass. I love this idea. I know I'm faster than the Scarf Basket Legion too, so I'm going to go for it. Helping Hand Shadow Ball should knock out any form of Basket Legion easily. So we will KO the Basket Legion and outspeed Frostlass before it gets an Aurora Veil off, which is important. So this is what I'm going to go for. I'm kind of curious if the Frostlass attacks here or not. I could see it going for a Veil and Basket Legion attacking the Emboar. I think that makes the most sense to me, but we'll see. Okay, they Mega Evolve the Frostlass. I didn't Mega Evolve the Emboar, right? Because if I really need the Mega Evolution, so I get the Helping Hand off with Mold Breaker. Snow Warning. Okay, yeah, I did. All right, cool. Because this is really important. If I forget to Mega Evolve Emboar, but I usually always Mega Evolve Emboar anyway. Like, there's no reason ever to save the Mega Evolution here in this case. Okay, let's see. They attacked here, right? Here comes Helping Hand. Okay. Don't be Sash. Very good. Very good. Getting rid of Basket Legion is so massive for my team. So goodbye Basket Legion. Let's see what they did with the Frostlass. This is Veil. Perfect. Perfect. I'm kind of curious if I can knock out Frostlass with Helping Hand Shadow Ball. Even if I don't, it's still a really good spot for me. So I'll take it. Okay, I wonder if Garchomp comes in. Garchomp comes in. This is probably Protect Earthquake, I imagine. I would like the Shadow Ball damage into the Garchomp because it puts in range of Ice Shard. So I think my best play is just to protect the Emboar here and Shadow Ball the Garchomp. Yeah, they're going to protect Earthquake. That made very a lot of sense here. So we will get a protect off with Emboar. Make sure we don't take any damage from the Earthquake and then get Mamoswine in safely. So here comes Shadow Ball. We just need to put this in Ice Shard range. The Garchomp looks decently bulky, but I think Mamoswine should get it. I also have Helping Hand Ice Shard if I have to go for it. I don't think I have to. Oh, I really wish I knew this calc because it'd be so massive. Oh, my Golden Go survives here, which a little bit awkward, but I mean, it's acceptable. I think I'd rather have Emboar than Farigiraf, so I think I go for a Farigiraf here, and I think I go for Shadow Ball again. Do I target the Garchomp or do I target the Frostlass? I think I target the Frostlass here because if they Earthquake, I get a Shadow Ball off into the Frostlass and they Earthquake themselves, which I think is pretty reasonable here. So I think I go for it. All right, Shadow Ball gonna come out into the Frostlass, pretty good damage. Earthquake's gonna be close if they knock themselves out. Okay, it's not Scarf on the Garchomp. Well, we already knew that because Golden Go moved before. Blizzard comes out, does get the KO here. That's fine. Either they Dragon Claw, it's okay for me. Although I could have probably taken a knockout with Flare Blitz. They do go for Dragon Claw. Okay, that's fine. All right. I'm feeling pretty good about this spot because Mamoswine comes in, threatens Ice Shard into Garchomp, and I should be able to go for a Trick Room here. I think that's always my best play. I don't really see a reason not to go for this play. Again, it's only going to come down to does Garchomp live this Ice Shard here. I can't really stall out 2 turns of Veil though safely, so I think I just go for it. They also, if they are going to go for, I don't think you protect Earthquake here. You're probably going for Blizzard Dragon Claw, right? If anything. Okay, Garchomp retreats Gambit. That makes sense. Okay. I don't mind this because if I get a free switch here, Actually, this could get a bit troubling. Emboar is going to have to clutch up with close combat, but I think this is still a fine line here. Yeah, they go for Blizzard. As long as I get Trick Room up, I should be good. I wish I protect instead now, or I was powered calling to switch, but I think this is reasonable here. Okay. Because I do get the Trick Room set up, and now I think I go for a Psychic into the Frostlass, and I think I swap out into Emboar. Because Emboar should be in a very comfy spot here to go for like close combats under Trick Room, and once the Veil runs out, like I don't think anything takes the close combat. I'm pretty sure with max attack I will easily KO the Garchomp, so we just swap the Mamoswine here so we have access to protect the next turn. I'm hoping they KO for Rigraff here, and I'm able to get a free close combat with Emboar the next turn and protect the Mamoswine. That's kind of the idea here. If they protect, this is pretty okay for me too. As we go for Psychic, what did they go for? Low kick into the Mamoswine. Great coverage option, but I mean, this is okay. If I'm not mistaken, my speed order currently is for Rigraff is the slowest thing. Yes, so I can go for Psychic plus close combat here into the Frostlass, or I could go for the King Gambit. I think the King Gambit has to run Iron Head on this team, so it might not be able to protect. So I think I go for close combat Psychic here. Close combat should knock out the King Gambit because it's chipped, even if it's Chople, and there's no Veil here for my opponents. I should be fine. If they have protect on the King Gambit, it gets a little bit tricky, but I still think it's within range for me to be able to beat it. I just want to make sure if I'm getting a close combat off, I'm able to knock out here. Okay, the King Gambit retreats. This is in the Garchomp. I guess they're going to hope that they live Psychic here, which I was a little bit concerned about. Do they live Psychic at this range? 30%? I didn't think they did, yeah. That's why I went for this play, because I didn't think they would be able to live Psychic at 30%. And then close combat will finish off the Garchomp. Oh, we did not. Did we see the speed order? The fact that Garchomp lived is actually a little bit terrifying, because now I don't remember the speed order of the Gambit. Was it faster or was it slower than my Farigiraf? Because I feel like the Gambit probably is slower on this team. I guess we get to find out this turn, but it might be a call on this. I'm going to go on the Mamoswine and just go for Psychic. I think Garchomp's always protecting anyway. I think the Gambit has to attack here, probably with a low kick into the Emboar slot, but we'll see. Oh, they didn't. And okay, my Farigiraf was slower than the Gambit, so faster under Trick Room. I thought that was the case. I just couldn't remember, but I was like pretty sure it was. Okay, perfect. I should win this then. Assuming no low kick crit, because now I can just go for Thunderbolt close combat very safely. Sacking Mamoswine's pretty good here because I was -1 defense. I would have gone down to the low kick. Now Emboar should be pretty comfortable, and I can go for... I have a few different plays I can go for. It really depends on how fast I think the Gambit is, but I think Thunderbolt plus close combat is pretty reasonable here, so I'm going to go for Thunderbolt close combat. Because we never saw speed interaction with Emboar and King Gambit, because the Emboar switched out, so... Thunderbolt into King Gambit. Get some chip. Okay, I could have protected. Protect was better. I worked so hard for this one, man. Okay, I should have probably protected. It was like very likely. I felt like the Emboar was faster on this team because the team... The thing is, I wasn't sure how fast the Gambit was because it could have been Tailwind Dragonite, so I wasn't 100% confident in the speed tier orders. But I mean, I won that if there was no crits. I think it was pretty reasonable for me. Sure, I could have protected on the last turn, but I was a bit worried about like, okay, if they had the faster King Gambit, can they Iron Head flinch here? So I was like, okay, if they Iron Head flinch, it's actually kind of bad because like I would never Trick Room again without seeing the speed order. So it could have just led to like a bunch of calls potentially. So I think I was willing to risk a crit there. Unfortunately, they did crit me. Man, Emboar would have been so clutch here. Although if it KO'd the Garchomp, it would have been super. I'm shocked that didn't KO Garchomp at 74% still. All right, we're gonna see. I really don't like playing this dual weather team. All right, we have Charizard, Venusaur, the Grimmsnarl, Basculegion, Pelipper, or Chaladon. This is weird because Charizard plus the rain stuff is already a bit awkward for this team because each of them are awkward in their own points, but now I have to deal with both of them at the same time. What am I leading here? I could lead Vileplume plus Golden Go. I could also lead Golden Go plus Emboar, which is also not terrible here. Both of them aren't bad options. I think I probably just lead Emboar plus Golden Go here. Emboar plus Golden Go. Well, it's really weak to Venusaur lead. That's the problem. I guess it's not too bad. Actually, no, it's not that bad against Venusaur because I do have ways to play around it. I think I have to bring the 4 of Emboar, Golden Go, Vileplume, Torkoal, but it's just going to be very awkward to play against this because I need very specific tool. I need to make sure that all the members can do what they do best. I need the Vileplume for the Solar Beam into Basky Legion. I also probably need it for After You as well. I need Emboar because Emboar is like my only way I really break through the Archaludon quickly. I need Torkoal for the weather control against the rain, but also Stone Edge potential for the Zard. And then Golden Go is like, okay, it's immune to the Sleep Powder threat from the Venusaur, but also Helping Hand Power Gem will knock out the Charizard, which is actually kind of important here. So let's see. Okay, they lead Archaludon Grimmsnarl, which this is pretty okay for me. Yeah. I don't think they're ever going to Electroshot immediately. I'm just going to go for my close combat into the Archaludon, and I'm going to rip a Steel Beam right off the bat. I'm just going to go for damage. If they try to switch out Archaludon to go out into Basket Legion, which I highly doubt they do because that's risking Shadow Ball, then they're in a bad spot. I'm going for Steel Beam because I don't want to proc Stamina onto Archaludon, and Steel Beam should knock out Grimmsnarl even after the... what's it called? Oh, I guess one play they do have access to do is Punish out the Emboar, though. Go Pelipper. Let's see if they do that. They might just go for Reflect plus Protect, which would be the best case, because then they could Punish out the next turn. But let's see. We will go for the Mega Evolution of Emboar. This could be really bad, because this could be Punish Shot, go out into Pelipper, and then they could go for Electroshot, which I was hoping, because Pelipper wasn't in, that they wouldn't go for. Okay, they just go for Light Screen. Wait, they left their... Archaludon vulnerable. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me with that miss. That's such a bad miss. Okay. I was in really good shape, I think, KOing the Grimmsnarl with Steel Beam. I think it KOs through the Light Screen if I'm not mistaken, but oh man. Goodbye Archaludon at least. I don't have to deal with Archaludon anymore. Which is good because if it's like Pelipper plus Basket Legion, that makes it easier, but man, that could have been a really, really good spot. Is this Charizard? This Charizard, I need Power Gem damage. I need damage to put in Power Gem range. Yeah. Basket Legion. Okay, so it's probably Basket Legion Pelipper, so they probably didn't bring the Zard. Okay. Kinda curious on what they're gonna go for then. Curious if they go for the KO and the Emboar or not is a good question. I do not have a great switch. That's why the Steel Beam miss was really bad, because now Grimmsnarl gets like free reign to do whatever it wants. And I can't really switch here, unfortunately. I think I just gotta go for a Helping Hand Steel Beam. I think they're gonna go Pelipper and I'm gonna get screwed by this, but that's such a bad miss, man. That's such a bad miss. I could hope for the Basket Legion being slower. Scarf on this team would make it easier. Wait, they went for Reflect? They didn't go for the Pelipper? Okay, wait, that's actually huge. Please hit. Okay. So we KO the Grimmsnarl. That's really massive, because getting rid of Grimmsnarl is a big deal here. We are going to lose Emboar in response, but we win the Weather War. Unless it's Rain Dance on the team for some reason. Okay, they last respect. Okay, Emboar gone. Critical hit I don't think matters here. Is it Life Orb? We don't know. Okay. So we can go Torkoal and Vileplume. Pelipper is going to activate the Weather first, which is important because Torkoal will go second and then get the Chlorophyll with the Vileplume, which is important. Yeah, okay, so they didn't bring Charizard in this matchup, which is really, really good for me. Now I have access to quite a few plays here, but I think I always just go for an Eruption, and I think I always just go for a Sleep Powder. I mean, the question is, who am I Sleep Powdering? Am I Sleep Powdering the Pelipper, reading Basket Legion Protect, or am I just going for it into the Basket Legion? I think the Basket Legion could be Scarf by the way they're playing, so I think I'm just going to Sleep Powder the Basket Legion. Because if it's not Life Orb Swift Swim, I want to say it's Scarf usually. So I'm going to go for Sleep Powder here. Because if I get the Sleep Powder, I'm in a great shape, I think, to win. Because I can't KO, I think, the Basket Legion behind Light Screen. Vileplume's not the strongest Pokemon, and Basket Legion actually has pretty good HP, so I think it would live Solar Beam through the screen. So that's why I think I need the extra Eruption damage, then to put in Solar Beam range. Nice. Okay, that's big. Really, really big. As they go for Weather Ball, which is fine, because I have Sash. And I'm like pretty sure at this point that the Basket Legion again, like my suspicion is that it's Scarf adaptability. So here comes an Eruption here, which is going to do some decent damage. Yeah, that still does a lot to Pelipper actually. And now it just comes down to the Basket Legion. If it's Scarf, we should have this game guaranteed because Solar Beam will KO the Basket Legion, single targets Eruption to Pelipper afterward, and we should be fine. But let's see. If they go for a Wide Guard, they need Wake Up and Aqua Jet. Okay, guaranteed win. Woo! Okay, goodbye. Basket Legion. Basket Legion gone massive with the Solar Beam. And even though we don't get the Eruption off, we can go for Solar Beam, Eruption the next turn, and that should seal it into the Pelipper. Because Pelipper probably only has single target moves, unless they have Muddy Water. They have Muddy Water, I guess I could change it, but let's see. We'll go for a Solar Beam. I wonder if Solar Beam KOs. The Eruption did do a lot of damage. But, okay, it worked out. Even with the Steel Beam as turn one. Because if Steel Beam, like, if I landed the Steel Beam, it was just an auto win, right? They didn't have Light Screen. I was in a pretty phenomenal spot. Because I missed, I was in such a downward position. But thankfully, was still able to get the KOs. And thankfully, the Sleep Powder got me what I needed to. In that, the fact that they were probably Scarf on the Basket Legion also made it so much easier. Because the fact that it was Scarfing, I was able to actually not have to worry about Aqua Jet, I'm pretty sure. Because I think they would have had to go for Aqua Jet if that was the case. But goodbye, Pelipper. And that is game. Still can't believe I won this one. But you know what? We will take it. That's not an easy one for sure. Alright, we have the Staraptor, Glimmora with Whimsicott, King Gambit, the Dragapult, and Metagross. Very interesting team. Okay. I'm curious on what they lead here because a lot of the good leads I think into my team don't deal well with Golden Go. So I'm kind of curious on what they bring here actually because there's a lot that I could go with plan-wise in this matchup. The question is, am I bringing the Mamoswine? It's great into like just dishing out damage, but is it necessary? Because I could go with like Farigiraf, Emboar, Golden Go, Torkoal as well, and I think that's actually reasonable too. Trying to figure out what the best lead is here because I don't know if they're bringing the Glimmora or the Staraptor. I also have no idea if it's Sash on the Glimmora or not because that's actually a good question. I think for Farigiraf, Golden Go is not too bad of a lead because if they do lead the King Gambit, I could always switch to Emboar or Torkoal. And I like Emboar and Torkoal because they're pretty consistent damage-wise. Only mon I do struggle with dealing damage to is Dragapult, but Dragapult shouldn't be too bad with Golden Go and Farigiraf. It also doesn't do the most damage immediately, which I think is important. Metagross is not really that problematic as long as I have Golden Go or Torkoal under this proper speed control or Emboar. The Whimsicott's not bad. Glimmora, Staraptor. I'm just curious if it's Mega Glim or if it's Focus Sash on the Glimmora. We'll find out, I suppose. Gonna be Staraptor, Whimsicott. Okay, that's perfect. as I do lead Farigiraf plus Golden Go. So I do have access to just Make It Rain plus Trick Room immediately. I also do have access to... I have a lot of plays that I can make here. I could also just protect Steel Beam, which is tempting. I'm pretty sure my best play though is to Trick Room Make It Rain. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go for Trick Room Make It Rain. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Farigiraf lives a +2 star after attack. Like, I'm pretty sure it does. So I'm gonna go for close. I'm gonna go for Make It Rain plus Trick Room. This should be probably Charm, I imagine, into the star after plus close combat into Farigiraf. I could go for Protect here, which is also why I was tempted, but I think if Farigiraf goes down, then they can go for like Tailwind plus close combat. Maybe Protect was still better. Yeah, they do Charm here. I'm not surprised. I'm pretty sure Farigiraf lives this, because Farigiraf is just so bulky. Oh, that's a bad miss. Not as bad onto Whimsicott, but I would have obviously liked to hit the Whimsicott. Make It Rain. Good damage to Staraptor. As long as I survive, I'm fine. Yeah. Farigiraf is just that bulky of a Pokemon. So I do get Trick Room up, which is really important. Okay. And we get Trick Room up. Not ideal that we had to take so much damage from response here, but granted, I don't think this is that bad of a spot. They don't really have any recovery options. I can just go for Psychic into the Staraptor. And the question is, what am I doing with Golden Go? I think I swap Golden Go. I think I hard go into Torkoal for the Eruption. Yeah, because I could see like a swap from Whimsicott into King Gambit. I could see them going for Roost here, and if Psychic doesn't KO the Staraptor, then they could kind of stall out the Trick Room. So I'm trying to bring out the Torkoal. I guess like one option they do have access to, if they do have it, is Fake Tears and Staraptor plus Roost. So that means Emboar might have been a better play for switching out into Golden Go, because the fact that they just have +3 special defensive Staraptor means I can't really deal as much damage to it. But I do that's kind of why the miss is kind of unfortunate into the Whimsicott, because I would have been able to get the KO into Whimsicott without having to worry about Sash, but yeah. Staraptor Protect is fine. Okay, did they Moonblast? I guess they Moonblasted the Farigiraf, or Double Protect is fine. Light Screen is okay too. Okay, this means that this is a really good spot for me, and really glad I switched out to Golden Go, because now I threaten Psychic into Eruption, and Psychic into Eruption will KO the Staraptor slot. It also pressures like every single switch that they have access to, so I'm always going for Psychic plus Eruption here. Okay, really good switch, and I get to preserve Golden Go for outside of Trick Room. So preserving Golden Go for being able to like Shadow Ball in the late game or Steel Beam last ditch effort is actually really good. So I'm feeling pretty nice about this spot, because they are very, very behind in terms of like, okay, about to take this damage, because nothing takes Eruption Psychic. Glamora goes down. Well, maybe not after, no, I think it does after Light Screen. The Dragapult takes a lot. Metagross is going down. King Gambit's going down. Like, they just do not have a good switch. So Staraptor, who are you switching out into? Dragapult? Dragapult. But they're still taking a lot of damage, so this is pretty reasonable for me here. They also probably don't... Oh, it's Octoberry. Okay, so there is a Sash, probably on the Pult. Yeah, like, look at that damage. That damage is beautiful. Curious if I hard switch for Farigiraf too. Here comes Psychic into Dragapult. So Dragapult goes down to an Eruption. They Moonblast a Farig. Does this KO? I don't think so. Ooh, it does. Okay. Oh, I was about to say, I didn't think it did, but it crit. Because like Octoberry probably means it has bulk on the Whimsicott, but this is still pretty okay for me. I get to go out into... I go out in Emboar. I could go out in Golden Go. I think I just go Emboar. And I go for Protect Eruption. And the reason I go for Protect Eruption is because the Whimsicott revealed Charm and Light Screen. I don't think it has Protect. It's probably Tailwind Moonblast. We already saw Moonblast, so it probably has Tailwind, you want to assume. So it doesn't have Protect. They probably try to draw off a Last Ditch Charm, I imagine, into the Emboar. So I'm going to go for Eruption and Protect here, which I think is pretty reasonable. I like Emboar because it pretty much is really good offensively against my opponent right now. There really is not much that they can do to counteract the Torkoal and the Emboar if they have King Gambit back. I think it is probably King Gambit back. I don't think it's Metagross. Glimmora could still be an option, but that means they just lose to Golden Go once Trick Room is over, so I feel okay about this. Dragapult gonna protect, which is fine. They probably went for Charm, right? Into Emboar. Yep. Perfect. And now the reason I also protect is because if they do have a Sash Glimmora back, Close Combat and Eruption will KO it. So the fact that I don't have to worry about, like, they know I'm already Scarf on the Golden Go. So the Glimmora could technically play offensive if I switch into Golden Go. While with Emboar, I can still threaten under Trick Room. What's coming in as the last? Staraptor coming in, and then they're switching out the Dragapult, I assume? That's my guess. Oh, Gambit came in. Okay. I guess they're going to attempt a Sucker Punch. They have a Sash available. It's either Glim or this Gambit. I think it's less likely the Gambit though. I think my best play is just to... We know it's not Akaberry Gambit. I think it's just Helping Hand Eruption here. Just to ensure I knock out the Dragapult in case they go for a Sucker Punch with the King Gambit. I think they're probably just protecting with both, but it's still okay. Because as long as I get rid of Gambit, I should win with my... If I get rid of Gambit, I should win with my... What's it called? Golden Go. Mold Breaker. Helping Hand. It goes before Protects, so let's see if there Protects around. Yeah, they tried to Sucker Punch, yeah, to try and live Eruption on both, I assume. But with the Helping Hand, Eruption will KO both. Beautiful, and now against Staraptor, we should be good, because I just go for... what's best play here? I think best play is to just switch out Emboar into Golden Go, Weather Ball. Yeah, that's always best play. That is always best play. Because I want to save the Helping Hand Emboar for the Staraptor, because that means Golden Go can just like easily wall break through the Staraptor. This is the last turn of Sun, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they stall it out. I go Golden Go here, and I go for Weather Ball into Staraptor. They're going to forfeit because they kind of realize I have a Golden Go in the back, so they can't really win against the Golden Go. I also still have some pretty powerful offensive pressure right here, so nice. All right, we have Serena, Aerodactyl, the Hydreigon, the Garchomp, Charizard, King Gambit. Ooh, definitely a scary team for sure. This is going to be a tough one. Luckily, I do have Scarf Golden Go that is designed to outspeed Mega Aerodactyl. And it probably is. Is this Mega Aerodactyl? I think it should be. Serena's a little bit questionable though, because Serena next to Garchomp actually makes it tough because I can't Ice Shard it efficiently, which is kind of rough. But I think plan is Mamoswine Golden Go and then try to do like Farigiraf plus the Emboar back. I think is probably like my best line. Bring my own Torkoal. It's like good into my opponent's team, but like the thing is, it's like really hard to bring both. I need Mamoswine for the Garchomp. I need the Golden Go because I need the immediate offensive pressure into Charizard, so it's always a bit tough. Okay, Aerodactyl plus the Hydreigon. That's pretty good for me, I'd say. Do I think this is Scarf Hydreigon? Because that's a good question. If it's not Scarf Hydreigon, I could Ice Shard, make it rain. I think my play is always to Ice Shard, make it rain, even if I get this play wrong. Like, Golden Go was only needed to lead if it's like lead Charizard. I think I'm going to go for Ice Shard, make it rain. If they do have Dark Pulse and they go for immediately, that's still okay. It's not the greatest, but it's still reasonable. So I'm going to go for Ice Shard, make it rain. Because if it is Mega Aerodactyl, I do outspeed KO it with Golden Go with Make It Rain. And the Ice Shard, make it rain will KO the Hydreigon. So here comes the Ice Shard into the Hydreigon. Good damage. Nice. Okay, so we do get to make it rain off. We do get to KO into the Hydreigon. And ooh, we get to KO into Aerodactyl too. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, that is amazing. That's such a good start. Okay. Yeah, as I said before, like even if it was Scarf on the Hydreigon, I probably bring in Farigiraf. I can still threaten Ice Shard plus Trick Room because I'm pretty sure they didn't have Serena back. I think it's like Charizard Garchomp. Yep. So that's exactly why I did this. Exact line. This exact line. This is the exact reason why. Now we have to save Mamoswine for sure. Bring up Farigiraf. This might still come down to a double protect, which is the super unfortunate part, but it's like, it is what it is. They protect the Garchomp, unless there's Scarf Garchomp. If there's Scarf Garchomp, it makes it easier. And the Charizard's gonna Heat Wave. There might be a line I can, actually, I think there's a line I can do that can prevent a double protect, but I do think it's a little bit risky. Yeah, they protect Garchomp. As I protect Mamoswine, there should be Heat Wave. Or Weather Ball. It could be Weather Ball. It is Heat Wave though, yeah. So Farig should be able to tank this just fine. We should be able to tank 2. Yeah, we tank 2 after Citrus. Alright, I'm going out into Emboar and Thunderbolting. This is very, very, very potentially risky. Because if they Earthquake here, I might have to make a call the next turn, but I think this is worth it. I'm going Emboar here because I'm hoping they go for a Double Protect and Heat Wave. Yeah, they did. They did fail it, but I think I still win with this position. So they go for Heat Wave here. As I go for Thunderbolt, that's massive. Okay, that Thunderbolt was just putting this in Power Gem range. That's all I needed. So now all I need is the Garchomp not to be Yachi or Sash, which it probably is not by the way they played this. So now, as much as I would love Emboar to put in work here, I need you to go down, buddy. I need you to go down. We're going for close combat. We're going for Psychic into the Garchomp. Because now we need to get Golden Go next to my... Mamoswine, because I have priority Ice Shard, KO into Garchomp, and then I have a Scarf Golden Go, Power Gem, knocking out the Charizard. If I risk this, like saving Emboar for helping hand situation, then it's like, okay, it's a 50-50 on targets, which I'm not playing. So Earthquake gonna come out here. I get to confirm if it's Life Orb, which is really important actually. So hopefully it's Life Orb, because then Ice Shard easily knocks out this Garchomp, and then Ice Shard plus Power Gem wins. Beautiful. Beautiful. So that's exactly what I wanted. That's exactly what I wanted. I could have positioned again the game plan potentially with Emboar with Trick Room, but I think this is like, I'm not tossing the end game, I think, here, because when I have a guaranteed end game, I will always go for it. Going to go next to Mamoswine pretty much locks this game up because Ice Shard will KO and Power Gem will KO and I outspeed. So we go for Ice Shard into Garchomp and we go for Power Gem into Charizard. There's nothing they have counterplay wise that can stop me here. So beautiful. Beautiful. We will go for Ice Shard into the Garchomp to eliminate it, and then we have Power Gem for the Charizard. And the reason I wanted damage into Charizard is because Power Gem can be a roll depending on how much bulk it is, so I will always go for it. So Ice Shard KOs the Garchomp. Goodbye Garchomp. And now we have Power Gem for the Charizard, so fantastic. And that is the power here of like the Scarf Golden Go, plus the priority is really nice. The Helping Hands also just help secure knockouts, which is really strong. And yeah, just a Ninetales. Just a Ninetales. That's all we need. That double knockout. Oh, such a good turn. Such a good turn for us. All right, we have Staraptor, Farigiraf, King Gambit, Raichu with Sylveon and Hisuian Arcanine. I mean, this matchup's like okay. It's not an easy matchup, but I think this one's pretty playable. So I have a few options here, what I could go with. I'm thinking I am gonna go with the offensive combination. I don't really want Trick Room up. I'm kind of curious on which Mega they bring. I think Staraptor is better than Raichu generally against my team, but we'll see what my opponent suspects. I'm gonna go with just Torkoal plus Vileplume and just go for the sleep powers immediately, because I'm going to use this lead opening, I think, to open up the end game for Emboar plus Golden Go. Unfortunately, with the combination that I have of Emboar Golden Go, Helping Hand Make It Rain doesn't KO like these Staraptors, which I could go for Steel Beam, but they lead something like the Staraptor plus Hisuian Arcanine. Then it's like a very awkward situation. I can't KO either, or I could KO Staraptor, but then I want to get rid of Sash on the Hisuian Arcanine, and I think it's an overall losing line. While I think Torkoal plus Vileplume can open up the doors for endgame Golden Go plus Emboar to go crazy. So let's go for this. I will go for Sleep Powder, by the way. I will go for Sleep Powder into the Hisuian Arcanine turn 1. Oh, they let King Gambit. Wait, this is better for me. I have access to After You Eruption. Oh, do I want to go for that immediately? Probably. I think I'd rather just Sleep Powder, though. I'm pretty sure Eruption Sleep Powder is always the play here. Yeah, I think Sleep Powder plus Eruption, like there's no downside. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go for Eruption Sleep Powder. Of course I can miss, but like I've already committed to going for the Vileplume Torkoal lead, so if it misses, it misses, you know? That's the risk here. We do see the Mega Evolution on Staraptor, but we don't know if that means it's protecting or attacking or not. If it attack attempts, this is really good for me because the Eruption's really important damage. And if I get rid of Gambit, that's amazing for me. They go for Sucker Punch to cover for After You. That makes sense. Life Orb on the Gambit, that's fine. Oh, they went for Brave Bird though. It's also Brave Bird. I've seen dual Wing Beats on this team, so this works out actually. I mean, it's obviously not as ideal, but like, I don't hate this spot. It could have been way worse. So I get the Eruption off. This KOs a Gambit after the Life Orb chip, and Staraptor takes a lot. Okay. This is Hisuian Arcanine coming in for extreme speed pressure, right? Obviously, if I had to Sleep Powder, I think the game is over, but it could have gone way worse. Like, that could have been close combat into the Torkoal, and I could have just lost on the spot. Arcanine comes in, yep. Because they're threatening sleep, they're threatening extreme speed in the Vileplume. I think they're probably just going to extreme speed close combat or extreme speed roost. I'm not sure which one they go for. But I think my best play is to go Golden Go for the extreme speed. Yeah. Ideally, the Staraptor is going to go for close combat here into Torkoal. That's my best case, but let's see. If they roost, it gets more annoying. Okay, they did extreme speed to Vileplume. That's expected. Perfect. Okay, good. Because if they got roost recovery, it's actually really annoying. I don't know if they expect a Scarf on the Golden Go, but I think my best play here is to go for Stone Edge into the Arcanine and go for Make It Rain. We need to break the Sash on this Arcanine ASAP. We hit to Make It Rain. Beautiful, no protects. I get rid of Staraptor. Huge threat to my Emboar, just gone. And if we hit the Stone Edge into Arcanine, if it didn't head smash, great spot. Because they probably Flare Blitz to Gold, I assume. Yep. Alright. Because I know Eruption wasn't KOing the Arcanine at the range. Weather Ball wasn't either. After they hit the Stone Edge. That is the life of this Torkoal. If we hit it, we're in a really good shape. Nice. Okay, so we missed the star. I guess that's -1 for you, huh? I think this is still okay. Yeah, this is still okay. I can threat him with Vileplume now. Oh wait, is it? No, because if they have Sylveon back, they can quick attack the Vileplume head smash. I have to go Emboar. Oh, okay, that's still okay. Oh, it's Farig back. Is that better or is that worse for me? I think that's fine. Oh, I should have went Vileplume here because if I went Vileplume, I could threaten Sleep Powder Farig plus Eruption. Head Smash doesn't KO, Psychic doesn't KO anything. Yeah, this is going to be a tricky turn because I'm actually not sure what's the best play here. I think it's always Eruption with Torkoal because if the Arcanine protects, I get Eruption damage into Farigiraf. The question is, what am I doing with Emboar? Is it to play to Flare Blitz KO the Giraffe? Does the Arcanine protect? It's my big question. I think I'm going to go for the Giraffe. But the thing is, I might have to live Flare Blitz Recoil plus Psychic. Maybe it was better to target. Well, I guess we'll see how fast the Giraffe is because I might be faster than Giraffe actually. And if I If I KO it, that's massive, but we'll see. They went for head smash and dodge. Oh wait, they've targeted Emboar. Okay. So I think if they targeted Emboar, they went for the psychic too, right? Barely missing the knockdown for Rig, but that's okay. Let's see if psychic KO'd with the recoil, because that's what I was questioning here. Oh, they went for... Wait, what? Did they not have psychic on this team? Okay, they would have just lost no matter what. They would have just lost no matter what. Yeah, the head smash miss doesn't matter because with the firefighting, Emboar has pretty good HP. We were not going down to head smash plus recoil, I'm pretty sure. So then we get the eruption off into Farig anyway. That was a weird mention of targets. I'm surprised they didn't go for psychic there, but you know what? We'll take it. We'll take it. All right, we have. Is this a rematch? Wait, I think this might be a rematch. Is this a rematch of the same player who was running this earlier? No, it's just the same team. Okay, same team. Okay. I mean, ideally, it goes better with the same game plan here, but we'll see. I'm curious if this is a rental because it's the exact same placements. It's literally the exact same placements as the previous team. So I'm kind of curious if I could do like Emboar Gold and go, oh, wait, now I remember what this team is. I'm pretty sure this team finished in Champions tier. Yeah, I do think I remember this. I think it's still the same game plan. Emboar Golden Go is a good lead for Rigrap Mammal Swine in the back. Same idea plan wise. Let's see. I'm kind of curious here because I like the idea of just being able to threaten really heavy damage. If this is the same rental, because it's like super likely, right? Because they have the mods in the same order. I'm thinking like, okay, if that's the case, we know that my Emboar is faster than the King Gambit outside of Trick Room. So that's actually kind of a massive thing to note. Another thing that to note is also like the King Gambit's in the middle between my Emboar and my Farigiraf speed tier wise. So something I'm gonna have to keep in mind, but my Farigiraf is slowest thing under Trick Room. So let's see what my opponent decides to go here. Garchomp Sneasler is not a lead I expected. Okay. They call me crazy sometimes. They call me crazy sometimes, but you know, sometimes we go for Helping Hand, and this is why I have this move. I have Steel Beam. Let's KO the Garchomp. Helping Hand Steel Beam should knock out Garchomp easily. Unless the Garchomp has bulk, because it did live to close combat last time for my Emboar, but Helping Hand, Steel Beam. Helping Hand goes before Fake Out, so if they go for Fake Out with Sneasler, I'm in a good shape. I'm surprised Sneasler's brought into this, because I don't know what Sneasler really does in this matchup, but I'll take it. What did they drop? I wonder if they have Dragonite in the back. That means if they have Dragonite in the back, I'm kind of curious, but we'll see. Like, this could be Protect Earthquake. This could be, like, Coaching Attempt if they have Coaching. I don't know the full details about this team. We'll see what they decide to do. Gonna just bring out the Mega Emboar, go for that Helping Hand. Mold Breaker activates, so we are able to bypass Good as Gold. Steel Beam away. Yeah, perfect, perfect. Perfect. This should KO, right? Oh, critical hit. I don't think that mattered realistically. Helping Hand Steel Beam, really powerful attack. It's way stronger than Make It Rain too because it's not spread. So it's not having the damage reduction. So beautiful turn. Best turn I could have asked for. So really nice. Get rid of Garchomp. It's not... Oh, they brought Gambit? Are they trying to Sucker Punch? I have to call whether the Gambit's going for Sucker Punch, Kowtow, or Protect now. I think my best play is just to switch out Emboar though, go out into Farigiraf. Yeah, this is my best play. Because I think it's less likely for them to Kowtow the Golden Go. I think it's more likely to Protect to fear the close combat. We'll see. They either Sucker Punch or they go for it. I don't know if the Sneasler Sash on this team. They did Sucker Punch, so I could have went for close combat. A bit unfortunate, but okay. Dire Claw. So they're going for Dire Claw stuff into my Emboar. That's not fun. I'm gonna go for Flare Blitz into the Gambit because it covers like more switches than close combat does. It also, I'm pretty... Did we see the item? We didn't, right? Could it be Ockaberry on this team? I don't think it's Chople. I think it's more likely black glasses though. But you know what? I'm going to close combat because it is a roll on Gambit, and I think I'll take the roll. I'm going to go for Psychic into Sneasler. Do they go Basket Legion? They do switch out to Sneasler, which is fine, into Frostlass. Okay, so Frostlass is their last mon. I also want to potentially Flare Blitz the Gambit because I thought it could have been like, okay, I could cover the Frostlass on the switch. This is really good though. I do get a big close combat off in the Gambit, and I do KO because I am max attack, and it's a pretty likely chance to KO the King Gambit, even through Chople. I don't know if that's a guaranteed KO through Chople. I'm actually curious. Let me look that up actually, because if that is, that's crazy. King Gambit versus the... that's a bit unfortunate, Curse Body, but okay. I'm very curious. Does this just naturally KO? Because it's a very high attack stat. Yeah, it's actually guaranteed KO through Chople. It's a guaranteed KO through Chople. I actually did not know that. Okay, so Sneasler Frostlass in. I have Golden Go in the back, so I'm pretty sure Golden Go just cleans up. I think I just make sure that I don't let them get free opportunities. So I think I just go for a Thunderbolt into the Sneasler for damage, and I think I just go out into my Mamoswine. Because like Emboar still has a lot of potential, and they could close combat Blizzard this slot. I don't want to Trick Room because I'm pretty sure I could win this game under Trick Room theoretically as well. But I think a better end game is just Golden Go next to the... I think Golden Go just next to Emboar wins as well. They go for Dire Claw, going for a status. That might be helpful because I can't get Blizzard. Well, I couldn't get Blizzard Frozen, so I guess like it's still not helpful. Okay. We get Thunderbolt off into Sneasler. Some chip. I mean, we just Ice Shard and Thunderbolt. Yeah, we Ice Shard Thunderbolt. I want both of these to go down so I get free switch to Emboar. Is this wider? I guess we'll find out. Here comes the Helping Hand, or here comes the Ice Shard into Sneasler. Okay, I don't think it's wider because they're not playing it like wider Sneasler, because I think they would have went for close combat if it was wider. Blizzard, assuming we don't get frozen, we're in great shape. Nice. So we should KO the Sneasler here with T-Bolt. And I am going for Thunderbolt because I did get Cursed Bodied, so my Psychic was disabled when I hit the Frostlass earlier. Now we win the game because we go Golden Go, we click Shadow Ball, and the game is sealed here. So very, very good. Very, very good. As you can see, move disabled, so Psychic for anyone who wasn't paying attention. Now we go for Shadow Ball plus a Thunderbolt, and we guarantee the game. Because Shadow Ball, I outspeed the Frostlass, will KO. Beautiful. So Shadow Ball will KO the Frostlass, and ooh, goodbye, Frostlass. So we get to run back against this team, which was nice. And we were able to win. A lot of offensive pressure, and yeah, I was surprised that Sneasler was brought because again, I didn't see what Sneasler really did. Maybe Mamoswine, I guess, was threatening, but even then, like, it wasn't doing much to my team. All right, we have Rotom Heat Sceptile with the Alolan Ninetales, Incineroar, Aegislash, and a Rockwind. Very fascinating team because they don't have Trick Room, but they have a lot of slow mons. Okay. Matchup wise, this is fine. Yeah, because this is completely fine. So I don't really like Vileplume in this matchup. It doesn't really accomplish much. My fire types go crazy. My Emboar especially under Trick Room. I just got to get Trick Room up, which is fine. I think plan-wise, the only mon I'm very concerned about is a Rockwind. But if I get one Flare Blitz off in a Rockwind, we're kind of in okay shape. I'm going to go with for Mamoswine because this covers like the Rotom Heat plus Sceptile combination that they could go for. Also because they can't Intimidate or like go for Fake Out because of the Armor Tail into my Mamoswine. If I lead this, then it's a really, really good shape. I think we always bring Emboar and we bring Torkoal in the back because we want to try to dominate this matchup under the sun. The only problems are a Rockwind. Like a Rockwind is the biggest one and Sceptile. Otherwise, Emboar goes crazy against this team. Like look at their Emboar switch-ins. They do not have the best Emboar switch-ins. So that's what I'm going to take advantage of. I don't even know if I want Trick Room up. It might not be a Trick Room angle. We'll see. If they lead Rotom Sceptile, I have Ice Shard, so I'm kind of curious on what they decide to go here. But I am leaning for Mammal Swine. I do threaten Ice Shard. I think that's very obvious. I think I'm just going to Psychic the Sceptile, and I'm going to go for Protect. I could see this being Overheat switched to Araquanid from their side if they want to cover for the Ice Shard. But also just because I don't think you should let me Ice Shard the Sceptile turn 1 and you lose it. I guess they could go for Discharge here, but are you really going to go for Discharge? I want to say the odds for them going for Discharge are just very slim because of the Ice Shard pressure from Mammal Swine, because it counters the lead, which is why I think they go for Overheat. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. So this was probably Overheat, so this is really good for me. And yep, Oblivious, we have Protect. I wonder if last mon's a Rockman. I think it has to be, right? Or maybe it's Ninetales. Oh, good Volt Switch. Good Volt Switch on their part. I really thought they were going to Overheat because I thought they would try to really KO that Mammal Swine. This still works out though because I get Psychic damage and whatever comes in. Like a Rockman, yeah, that still works out pretty good. So I get the Psychic off into Rockwanid. I feel pretty okay about this spot. It's leftovers, okay. They're not going to Fake Out with Incineroar. I imagine this is just hard swapping a Rotom Heats on a high horsepower. Torko's the least useful mon, and honestly getting an Emboar or Mammal Swine would be really nice here, so I think I just go hard into Torkoal. Or do I just go for the high horsepower? I feel like the extra damage that Mammal Swine provides is way more useful, so I think I'm going to retreat Mammal Swine into Torkoal. I don't think they should stay with Incin and take the high horsepower. I think they should switch out to Rotom. I think that's their safer play, but let's see. Yeah. Like, I felt that play made so much sense here. So Rotom comes in. Nice. And I get more damage to Araquanid. Like, any damage on this Araquanid right now is really important for putting in Flare Blitz range. Now I think it is guaranteed in Flare Blitz range, even at -1. They go for Liquidation. That's fine. Does nothing to Torkoal. I wonder if they Overheat and Sun into Farigiraf, but that's okay if they do. I do have Stone Edge. I could see Incin coming in through a Volt Switch. That's okay if they do go for that. I think my best play here, probably still get damage into Rotom if it's possible. Or maybe I just Thunderbolt for chip. I'm going to go for Thunderbolt and I'm going to go for Stone Edge. They go for Volt Switch. I was debating about swapping the Torkoal, but I really don't think it's optimal if like they go for Liquidation, double up in that slot. So I'd rather them KO Torkoal with a double up if they go for it. So this is Incin, I assume. It's not Sceptile. Yeah. Okay, I'm -1, so the Stone Edge might not KO, so Weather Ball might have been better, but that's still okay. I get a Thunderbolt off into the Incin, and now, like, if they KO Torkoal, that's like a great spot for me. Okay, they go for Lunge. Fine. That did a lot, actually. I should have went for... Well, the Weather Ball is resisted. Even if it's Sun Boost, the Stone Edge might do more damage. Here comes the Stone Edge. That actually did, like, no damage. Okay. I think I'm still in a pretty reasonable spot, though. I'm going out into Emboar, and I'm like, hard Emboar is okay. Even if I take damage on Emboar, I think this is reasonable because I can go for close combat plus Thunderbolt the next turn. Actually, how much did Thunderbolt do? It did 27 right to Araquanid. That could be a bit close. Okay, Araquanid retreating is really good for me. Is this Rotom? Okay. Did they parting shot the Torkoal? I doubt it, right? I think you're going to target KOing the Farig now. But I like having Emboar around to threaten close combats, which is why I went hard into it. Yeah, they did go for Darkest Lair. That's really good for me. Araquanid's really, really low at this point. I wonder if I could get Trick Room up now. I think Trick Room attempt is probably my best play here. Like Trick Room, and then they don't have a switch to close combat. So I think I go for close combat to Incin. They might sack Araquanid for the Incin slot, which is okay by me. Yeah. They might be Volt switching too, but that's okay. If I get rid of Rockman, that's a pretty good trade, I'd say. Yeah, that's a pretty good trade. Assuming close combat KOs, maybe the Rockman can survive. Maybe. We'll see. They went for over. Ooh, into Farig, but we do dodge. I don't think I mind if it hits because I still have Mammal Swine that's still in a pretty okay spot, but I mean, that's obviously like super game changing right here because this locks me into a really comfortable position. Because now the Rotom's just locked into Psychic. Now there's Psychic plus Close Combat that I can threaten into the Rotom very safely. Incineroar comes in. I did get Thunderbolt damage into the Incin earlier, right? Yeah, I did. I don't need the Sun Power anymore because it doesn't really do anything. Because it was only for me living a Rockman attacks realistically. So I can go for Psychic into the Rotom for chip. And I'm going to go hard into Torkoal. Because I just want to make sure I reset these attack drops. So we get the Psychic off into the Rotom. That puts in close combat range, guaranteed. They go for close combat, so they have close combat on this, okay. Are they min speed? Probably, right? Yeah, it has to be. They get an overheat off. So goodbye for Farigiraf. This endgame is still not the easiest one. I do get Mammo and Emboar at full health. I do always threaten close combat into the instant slot, and that's what I'm always going for. The question is, am I reading Parting Shot from the Incin, or am I reading them to attack the Mammo? I could also Icicle Crash the Rotom too. They don't know my item, but they should assume it's not Sash Mammo. Oh, they might actually. They didn't reveal Parting Shot actually. Yeah, they didn't reveal Parting Shot. I can close combat because if they have close combat, they usually drop Parting Shot. So that makes my life a lot easier. They switch out Rotom into Sceptile. So I'm assuming they're just going for an attempt to KO Mamoswine. That's my guess. So we will protect our Mammo. Yeah. The fact that they showed me close combat pretty much told me everything I needed to know, because the fact that they don't have Parting Shot made the game a lot easier. They had Parting Shot, they could Parting Shot out the Emboar. I think Rotom might have, if Rotom Heat went down to the Emboar close combat, kind of interesting. But if it didn't, I think I'm set, because I think I just go for close combat and then I could threaten like high horsepower, Icicle Crash. I have like a few plays. It's still like a winnable game for sure from their side, but I think they have to get like several calls right now. I don't think I have to. I don't think I could lose a call here. Do I have to crash? I think I have to crash. I think I close combat the Rotom and crash the Sceptile. You might be thinking, why don't Ice Shard? I thought they were going to attack in regular form and just hope if I have like an accurate ice move that is an Ice Shard, or inaccurate ice move that is an Ice Shard, which is Icicle Crash. I thought they would try to dodge it, then they go for a grass type move like Energy Ball, KO the Mamoswine, and then try to sell out Trick Room for Dragon Pulse endgame into Emboar, because my Emboar is at -2 defenses after the close combat. I thought that's what they were going to try to go for, but now I just guarantee win. I have Helping Hand Ice Shard, I have Close Combat Ice Shard, I have Flare Blitz Ice Shard, just so many plays. So, yeah, they can't win. And they will go for the Mega Evolution now. Like, I thought their only chance of winning was hope that, I'm close combat to Rotom. Like, I should always close combat to Rotom. But the question is what they were going to do with the Sceptile, of whether they were going to go for a, what's it called? Again, a grass type move in the Mamoswine, which I felt like was the play there, because hope that I'm not Sash Mamoswine, hope that I click Ice Shard, because Ice Shard wouldn't KO, I think, the Sceptile in its base form, because it's not 4 times weak to the ice. And then Mega Evolve, once Trick Room's over, Dragon Pulse +2, or Dragon Pulse and -2 Emboar could get it. and they could always go for a crit in that case. So that's why I went for this line. If they had Leaf Storm, I guess then they had like no chance, or maybe they had to crit the Emboar as well. But now I can always just win by Helping Hand Ice Sharding. Even just Ice Shard would have KO'd itself. But goodbye, Sceptile. And that will be a win. Very strange team. The Araquanid definitely made things a lot more difficult than I was hoping for in this matchup, but was able to get a spot with Emboar. Again, a very fortunate overheat dodge. I think I could have still won the game without it. Obviously, Trick Room did play a big role, but I think I could have still won because Emboar was just faster than the Incineroar, which was actually important. And the fact that Ice Shard always threatening the Sceptile, I think could have also just made things pretty reasonable for me to win the game. But yeah, it definitely helped swing the favor, especially because they didn't have Parting Shot. If they had Parting Shot, it would have made a difference, but they did not. So how was Mega Emboar? Honestly, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I think its coverage is pretty good for what it is. Of course, Blaziken is probably a stronger pick because of the faster offense, but I did like the combination of that Helping Hand with the Golden Go. I think it was really powerful. Scarf Golden Go is a super threatening mon if you're not prepared for it, and that Helping Hand really just allows the Golden Go to pick up knockouts because Timid, without any boosting items, really weak, but with that Helping Hand support, we saw some of those knockouts that the Golden Go was able to accomplish with it as well. So it was really fun to be able to utilize, and I think the combo was really cool. Otherwise, like, I don't think it's the strongest team. There are, of course, some weaknesses, especially because of the limited ways to be able to hit Charizard without, like, the Power Gem Golden Go. You do have access to, like, Power Gem plus the Ice Shard and a few others, but it is a little bit hard to hit some of the common mons. And, of course, like, Garchomp can be super threatening if you don't have access to the Mamoswine. So a few limited ways of being able to actually threaten those Pokemon. However, I do think the team does have some ways to beat it at least, and it has some pretty powerful tools. If you'd like to try it out, the random code is on your screen. Otherwise, you can check out the details of the team down below in the description. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.